The Soul King's Military Entrenchment Saga, Part 3. Recap. The enlisted personnel of the Spiritual National Guard parable. Just going to read them real fast. Just the enlisted personnel, meaning the Perfect Love Infantry 9. So, rolling, marching, and or flying in at E1. The Spirit Army National Soul Private and Spirit Air National Soul Airman Basics Rank Chapter Invasion Force. The 6 single word awareness questions, which will be invading, or which will have the purge target of the negative belief system pillar 1, racism, domination force, and or outcome of objectives. Meaning, once the 6 single word awareness questions enter into this here fray, purge target will be the belief system pillar known as racism. Outcome will be the foul principality sin greed. For the current domination force of racism is the foul principality sin greed. I'm getting somewhere with all of this overall. You'll see. E2, the Spirit Army National Soul Private Second Class and Spirit Air National Soul Airman's Rank Chapter Invasion Force. The simultaneous talk technique. Purge target, negative belief system pillar 2, feminism, domination force and or outcome of objectives, the foul principality, jealousy. This is what I'm reading from here. E3, the Spirit Army National Soul Private First Class and Spirit Air National Soul Airman First Class Rank Chapter Invasion Force. The Love Expression Series and or the Logical Affection Virus. The Logical Affection Virus. Yes. Moving forward. And the Logical Affection Virus, its purge targets will be negative belief system pillar 3, the LGBTQ community and or foul sexual orientations belief system pillar. In the domination force and or the outcome of the objective will be the foul principality sin vanity. Now for the non-commissioned officer idols. Idols. I'm gonna keep saying idols over and over again. The Spirit Army National Soul Specialist and Soul Corporal, as well as the Spirit Air National Soul Senior Airman's Rank Chapter Invasion Force. The Brighter Days soundtrack, which the purge target will be the negative belief system pillar 4, nerd geek culture. The domination force, sloth, the foul principality sin sloth. E5, the Spirit Army National Soul Sergeant and Spirit Air National Soul Staff Sergeant's Rank Chapter Invasion Force, soul battle rapping. Purge targets, the gangsters. Domination force, the foul principality sin wrath. E6, Spirit Army National Soul Staff Sergeant and Spirit Air National Soul Technical Sergeant's Rank Chapter. Remember, the National Guard is 2 in 1. So I'm going to use the ranks of both the Army and the Air Force, because that's what's in the National Guard, the Army and the Air Force. The National Guard today is what could be labeled and described as a reserve component for the Army and the Air Force. But when it was first established, back when it was called the Citizens Force, it was an invasion force on a group of innocent indigenous people who just lived on this here North American continent and were just here, that they wanted to invade and ruin the lives thereof. The history says it all. I'm just going off of what I'm seeing. E6, the Spirit Army National Soul Staff Sergeant and Spirit Air National Soul Technical Sergeant's Rank Chapter Invasion Force. The Fitness Gospel Movement, or FGM, and Wrestling with Tribes for Peace. Purge target, the negative belief system pillar 6, the tribes. Domination force, the foul principality sin lust and or decomposure. And now for the senior non-commissioned officer idols. Senior non-commissioned officer idols. Officer idols. Idols. What is an idol? IDYLLS. IDYLLS. An idol, or IDYLL. An idol is an extremely happy or peaceful or picturesque scene or episode. It's usually one that's idealized, described to you with words. Typically an unsustainable one, says the definition. But if the entire world march towards one idea altogether, meaning all of the people, all of the human beings in the world, this entire species, if you all just got together and decided to manifest one thing altogether, you would win with the one thing you decided to manifest with altogether. That's just logic, though. That's just a logical victory you can have. Logically speaking, if you all stood on one idea and one principle together, the world wouldn't be the way it is currently. Right now, currently, it's wrong. And it could be right if you all, meaning everybody in the world, decided to make the world be right, or allow the people of the world to be right. Did you know, logically speaking, this entire world is simply a group of people? A group of people descending from a common ancestor. Who is this common ancestor? The first sun soul. Senior non-commissioned officer idols. E7. The Spirit Army National Soul First Sergeant and Spirit Air National Soul Master Sergeants Rank Chapter Invasion Force. The Church and Mosque Domination Force. Purge targets. Negative Belief System Pillar 7. The Religions. Domination Force. The Foul Principality Sin Gluttony. Rolling in at E8. Rolling, marching, and or flying in at E8. The Spirit Army Nationals. Soul Master Sergeant. Soul First Sergeant. Spirit Air Nationals. And Spirit Air Nationals. Soul Senior Master Sergeant and Soul First Sergeants. Rank Chapter Invasion Force. The Spiritual Reawakening. Target. The Negative Belief System Pillar 8, Ignorance, the one that's outside of the box. Domination Force, the Foul Principality Standard, or the Foul Principality Sin Devil Standard. What is a standard? A level of quality, or a level of attainment. Attainment, what someone has achieved or done, made you stupid. The devil needs you to be stupid, so the devil can keep ruining your lives for kicks and giggles. Moving along. E9. Bunch of ranks here. The Spirit Army National Soul Sergeant Major, Soul Command Sergeant Major, and Soul Sergeant Major of the Spirit Army, as well as the Spirit Air National, Spirit Air National, which is the Soul Chief Master Sergeant, Soul Command Chief Master Sergeant, and the Soul Sergeant Major of the Spiritual Air Forces, Rank Chapter Invasion Force. Remember, each rank, I honestly don't even have to use the ranks at all. The only reason why I'm using the U.S. military's ranking system is to bring you all some awareness of what this oppressive body against us has. Or should I say this oppressive nature? Because human beings aren't truly responsible for anything going on in the world today. The only thing that's responsible for what is going on in the world today, far as it being bad, is what is driving you to make it bad. Because without the driver, you ain't doing anything wrong at all. Take the driver out of the picture. You all stand on natural, moral, divine standards, or divine moral standards. Natural, divine moral standards. The invasion force here is the Annihilation of Fear series. Purge target, Negative Belief System Pillar 9, Fear itself. Domination force, the Foul Principality Sin, Devil Driver. I just wanted to read the enlisted personnel of the Spiritual National Guard to you one more time. But for this video right here, I'm going to read the entirety of the Spiritual Army's parable now. Just the Spiritual Army alone. No National Guard, just the Army alone now. So, here we go. The Soul King's Military Entrenchment Saga Part 2 of 9. Stage, the Exodus Soul Tribe Family, uniting Black North America. Branch, the Spiritual Army Parable, the Perfect Love Soldiers. Facts, established June 14th, 1775, and currently the Army is under the Department of Defense, established 1789. Just like the other one, this here spiritual branch has 3 foundational story structures, or 3 story points, or 3 really important key, I want to say, operating grounds for each branch. 3 of them. They have titles. The first one is titled the Invasion Force, or IF for short. The second one is titled the Purge Targets, or PT for short. And the final one is titled the Domination Force. Each branch will have an invasion force, purge target, and or a domination force, which is also called outcome of objectives, or the triple O's. Each branch parable will have these three structuring their story. And also to a fourth thing, the 9 chakra system. I'm going off of the 9 chakra system, the modern traditional one, so to speak. And the modern traditional chakra system starts with the root chakra as number 1 and the earth star chakra as number 9. That's the 9 chakra system. Of course, it doesn't actually exist. What in reality, what it is, the 9 chakra system is actually the 114 chakra system without any of the aspects and or hierarchies mentioned. That's what the 9 chakra system is in actuality. It's the 114 chakra system without any of the hierarchies mentioned. And every single branch parable that I have listed here is structured off of that 9 chakra system: root chakra, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, crown, soul star, and earth star chakra. All the enlisted personnel, that chakra system is their foundation. And as I go on through this video, or as I go on explaining the Soul King Military Unleashed, you'll see how. As a matter of fact, I'll give you an example here. To be more specific, just one more example of this, the spiritual National Guard, then I'm gonna move on. So E1 harbors the root chakra. E2 harbors the solar, the sacral. 3 solar. 4 heart. 5 throat. 6 third eye. 7 crown. You see? 8 soul star. Every E8 for the enlisted personnel will be targeting the soul star chakra, or information that is, I want to say, structured on top of the soul star chakra's aspects and or meanings. You follow what I'm saying? This entire parable is. And then E9 being the earth star chakra, what will be targeting the earth star chakra. So here we go. Enlisted personnel idols for the spiritual army parable. No more National Guard. Now we on the army. Marching in at E1, the soul private, or PV1s. That's the abbreviation for it. I'm going to be using the abbreviations a lot now. From here on out, I'm going to be using the abbreviations. No more double rank chapters. It's just one military per explanation now. So, the Soul Private, or abbreviation PV1's rank chapter invasion force. The soul asceticism virtue. Soul asceticism. Look up what the word asceticism means. I missed an explanation. I'm going to need to get this to you now. So, before I go on, let me say this. Or I'm going to say this. The invasion force for the spiritual army parable is titled The 9 Fragrant Principality Virtues. The 9 Fragrant Principality Virtues. That's what the invasion force for the spiritual army is titled. The purge targets for the spiritual army in which they are targeting are going to be the 9 outcomes of what the National Guard, or the first invasion force, manifested from its battle. So that means the 9 foul principality sins. Did you know the devil, logically speaking, is just foul air? So that means if you carry out the stench of the devil, it should be self-explanatory. Stop carrying out the devil's foul stench. Fragrant principality sins versus foul principality sins. And the domination force and or outcome of objectives will be the 9 enemy regulation forces. The 9 enemy regulation forces. That's the domination force for the spiritual army parable. Remember, a parable is a simple story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson. I don't like the word illustrate. I would rather use the words label and describe and or narrate. Put it together the way I have it now. A parable is a simple story used to narrate, moral or spiritual. I don't like the word lesson either, so I would just say upliftance. Now I'll put it together the way I really got it. A parable is a simple story used to narrate a moral and or spiritual upliftance. That's what a parable is to me. And these rank chapters are all parables. That's what every rank chapter is. So, 9 fragrant principality virtues versus the 9 foul principality sins. And the 9 fragrant principality virtues are going to beat the foul principality sins into the 9 regulation forces. But then we're going to have to go to another military branch in order to take care of them as they are now. And that's what's going to be the entirety of the parable. I'm going to beat them in one way. They're going to become something else. And then I'm going to beat them in there. They're going to become something else. And I'm just going to keep on beating them until I'm home. And then until there are nothing else to beat anymore. That's the whole purpose of this parable. To beat them until they can't be beaten anymore. But it's just in the spirit. It's just in the spirit. Because in the physical, I'm trying to make it quickly as possible. No suffering, no slavery, no talking. Just end. Period. But spirit, fight. Fight. I'm just going to fight you until I don't have to anymore in the spirit. Moving forward now. So, E1, Soul Private, or PV1's Rank Chapter Invasion Force. The soul asceticism virtue. What does asceticism mean? Discipline. Restraining yourself from this world's desires. Everything of this world wants you to be in competition with who you are naturally. Everything does. Why do you think they call us a race? Why are we called a race? That's a competitive word. Moving forward. Their purge target is the foul principality sin greed. And the domination force, the ERF, or the enemy regulation force, exploitation. E2, the soul private second class, or PV2's rank chapter invasion force, the soul stoicism virtue. Purge target, foul principality sin lust. Domination force, the enemy regulation force, classification. Did you notice our women always say men just want sex, men just want sex? Did you know it's actually them that does? Because they never been satisfied a day in their life. Why haven't women been satisfied a day in their lives? Do you hear what Jada Pinkett Smith says? She says things like, I haven't felt good in so long. You want to know why you haven't felt good in so long? Because 60% of the men on this planet, including August, right? I believe that's what you said his name was. You had some kind of whatever with August. 60% of the men on this planet were all mutilated at birth. It's virtually impossible. It will be virtually impossible for you to find any man to give you equal satisfaction within any relationship you get in. And it requires equal satisfaction for any relationship to last. Without equal satisfaction, no relationship will last, ever. You're going to fail at everything you do because the devil wants you to. E3, unless you fix it somehow. I'm working on a way to fix at least the non-physical damages. That's what all this is the way to work on fixing the non-physical damages. Here, E3, the Soul Private First Class, or PFC's Rank Chapter Invasion Force. The Soul Discipline Virtue. Purge targets, foul principality sin gluttony. Domination force, and or outcome of objectives. The enemy regulation force, provoke and or elicitation. Remember, in order for these principality sins to work, they have to put the idea in you and draw it out of you. They put the problem in you and draw the problem out of you and give you a fake solution to deal with it, like their prisons. In this world, we are judged based on how we react to the crimes of others. Non-commissioned officer idols, E4, the soul specialists, SPCs, and soul corporals, CPL's rank chapter invasion force, the soul pride virtue. Purge targets, foul principality sin vanity. Domination force, the enemy regulation force, aggravation. Aggravation, what does that mean? Aggravation simply means to add insult to injury. E5, if this is not rolling out the way it needs to, it doesn't necessarily need to for you, because I'm the one that's destroying your entrenchment. Me. This makes sense to me. If it doesn't to you, it will eventually, because I'm going to make it make sense to you. Moving forward, E5. Just read that one. No, I didn't. E5, the Soul Sergeant's rank chapter. SGTs, rank chapter invasion force. The soul tranquility and or soul balance virtue. Purge targets, foul principality, sin, wrath, domination force and or outcome of objectives. The enemy regulation force, agitation. Agitation, make you angry. That's where wrath comes from. Agitation, external agitation. Next, E6, the Soul Staff Sergeant, or SSG's rank chapter invasion force. The Soul Ambition virtue, purge target, foul principality, sin, sloth, domination force, the enemy regulation force, humiliation. Whenever I do these, I'm talking about the root of things. Let's not forget that. I'm always talking about the root. Next, senior non-commissioned officer idols. Marching in at E7, the Soul Sergeant's first class, or Soul Sergeant First Class, SFC's rank chapter invasion force. The Soul Contentment virtue, purge targets, foul principality, sin, jealousy, domination force, the enemy regulation force, frustration. E8, the Soul Master Sergeant, MSG's, which is a technical or a techie. You have a technical and you have an administration when you get to the EA rank. The tech people are people who are still serving on the field and carrying out missions and whatnot, and the administration are the people who lead them, so to speak. Those who have this admin. You can be both of them in the E8 according to what I've studied though. Just what I've studied though. I may be wrong, maybe right, who knows. E8, the Soul Master Sergeant, MSG's, and Soul First Sergeant, FSG's rank chapter invasion force. The Soul Standard and or the Spiritual Reincarnation virtue. The Soul Standard virtue and or the Spiritual Reincarnation virtue. Remember, the first one was the Spiritual Reawakening, which is this awareness to get rid of ignorance. The next one is the Reincarnation, which is the acceptance of something. Acceptance of the Soul Standard. And its purge targets will be, guess, the foul principality, sin, devil standard. Domination force, the enemy regulation force, disrespect. Remember, they had to disrespect you into a position to be stupid enough to accept their games. And now the E9 rank. E9, the Soul Sergeant Major, SGMs, Soul Command Sergeant Major, CSMs, and Soul Sergeant Major of the Spiritual Army, SMs, rank chapter invasion force. Soul Courage. The Soul Courage virtue. Purge targets, the foul principality, sin, devil driver. Domination force, the enemy regulation force, extortion. That there is your enlisted personnel idols for the Spiritual Army parable. Moving along. The warrant officer idols. Remember, there's going to be enlisted, warrant officers, and commissioned officers. Off-icers, off ice. You really think you're off ice just because you're an officer? You're not. You're still working for the same death government's energy, the death energy government. You're still working for the same one that's against all of our lives and trying to ensure that all of our children will fail at everything and suffer to death for all the days of their lives. Here's the reality. If you really cared about your children, quit your jobs. Altogether. Remember, no one can be left in this world. Every single portion of this world has to leave it and or quit it and or get out of it at the same time in order for this to work. The only way this is going to work is if every single person alive go to the center of the world somewhere in North America, over here where I am, and just all 8 billion people hold hands and sing or something. I'm not with all the woo-woo madness. I'm not with all of that all your gurus and all your Indian gurus be on. I'm not with all that. Straight logic here. This ends when everybody who is preserving it to keep going stops doing so. Moving along. Warrant officer idols. W1, the Soul Warrant Officer I1's rank chapter. The Rock and or Earth element. CW2, Soul Chief Warrant Officer I2's rank chapter. The Ocean and or Water element. CW3, the Soul Chief Warrant Officer I3's rank chapter, the Fire and/or Righteous Rage element. CW4, the Soul Chief Warrant Officer I4's rank chapter. No invasion force, no purge targets, no domination force. It's just a rank chapter straight up. This is what I meant to mention in the previous video when I talked about the National Guard's rank chapter or warrant officers. But I'll say it here and you can connect the dots from there. CW4, Soul Chief Warrant Officer I4's rank chapter, the Air/Perfect Love element. CW5, the Soul Chief Warrant Officer I5's rank chapter, the Ether and/or the Prana elements, just like it was in the previous one. Because in the previous one for the National Guard, the Soul Chief Warrant Officer I5's rank chapter was Prana Vayu. And for this one, it's Ether and/or Prana. You see the connections. This entire military was specifically designed to make this entire world one body of a military might to go up against the oppressive nature and defeat it. You follow what I'm saying? It's all about making you strong enough to beat what's really trying to beat you. Fight back. Let me put a military in your head, or at least help you get one in your mind that can help you beat this oppressive nature that's trying to make sure you and your children's lives remain ruined. They are the type to follow you to the ends of the earth. Follow you around to the ends of the earth. Those who practice this disgusting ass mentality, they are willing to follow you to the ends of the earth to ensure your life remains in ruins. You all call the planet the Earth. I call the planet the Heart, by the way. Now, lastly, I'm going to click the video off and I'm going to read the other parts. I'm going to start reading like 2 or 3 parts real faster. Now that you got more details of how the army is set up, especially with the 9 chakra system foundation and etc. The spiritual army's commission officers, idols. The commission officer idols. Here you go. Starting with the company grade officer idols. Take this for a moment. In the enlisted personnel grouping, there are 3 sets. I said them off to you. You got the enlisted personnel, you have the non-commissioned officers, and you have the senior non-commissioned officers. I just put idols at the end of each of them because it's the Soul King's military parable. My military comes in the form of a bunch of ideas that are going to ruin every other style of idea from the outside of you trying to get in and cause the ruin. It's a defense force and an offensive force all together. Military tactics in the spirit. Can you dig it? So, and for this grouping right here, it's 3 sets as well. You got the company grade officers, you got the field grade officers, and you have the general officers. The general officers are going to be really important for you to know of. So here, let's learn them now. The company grade officer idols. Because remember, this is a soul parable, soul military, Soul King's military. Marching in at 01, the Soul Second Lieutenants and/or, for the abbreviation, 2LT's rank chapter domination force. When we get to the leadership, it's straight up domination force and/or the triple O's, outcome of objectives, because it's the energy behind the entire ordeal here. These commissioned officers are essentially the energy behind all of the military parables. This is why you'll hear a lot of them mentioned with the same leadership names. Hurry up. 01 being my conviction, God will have his world. 02, the Soul First Lieutenants, or 1LT's rank chapter in domination force, I, meaning me, myself, and I, or EYE, every youth and everybody. You're all first lieutenants. Lie, lieutenants. Be careful what you accept, huh? No, you're not first lieutenants or devil dogs. You're just people who don't know no better. 03, the Soul Captain, or CPT's rank chapter domination force, Super Yahusha's 9 Great Fathers. They are source reconnection scenarios. Those will be your company grade officer idols. Now for the field grade officer idols, where things get a little bit more intensified on the leadership scale. For the Soul Major and/or MAJ's rank chapter domination force, you got Cosmic Yahusha's 9 Great Fathers. Same thing, source reconnection scenarios. Just 9 source reconnection scenarios, but it's connecting you to one source, one leadership. our real life government leadership, not the death government, the life one. 05, the Soul Lieutenant Colonel, or LTC's rank chapter, Domination Force. Free Yahusha's 9 Great Fathers, another source reconnection scenario set. And then you have at 06, the Soul Colonel, or COL's rank chapter, Domination Force. Establish Yahusha's 9 Great Fathers, which is simply another source reconnection scenario set. That's all it is. And now finally, for the Soul General Officer Idols. Remember, they're just general officers is what they're actually called, but for the parable, I say Soul General Officer Idols. 07, the Soul Brigadier General, BG's rank chapter, Domination Force, the 10 chakra system, 10 spiritual powers and 1 star. 08, the Soul Major Generals, or MG's rank chapter, Domination Force, the 2,000 Egyptian God Pharaohs, like Amun and Ra, for example, just those two. 09, the Soul Lieutenant Generals, LTG's rank chapter, Domination Force, the Trinity Endor Trimurti, which is the Son, Father, and the Mother for this parable to work. And then 010, the Soul General, which is the Soul Generals, GEN's rank chapter, Domination Force, the 400 plus 1 Orishas, Shango, Oba, Oshun, and Oya. And then Special 1, the Soul General of the Spiritual Army, or GA's rank chapter, Domination Force, the Panch Mahabhuts, or the 5 Great Elements. And then lastly, Special 2, the Soul General of the Army's rank chapter, Domination Force, the Number of Man, Revelation 13:18, the truth behind it, 603 score and 6, which is 660 and 6, 600 protons, 60 neutrons, and 6 electrons. In the next video, I'm going to get about at least 2 of these branches off to you in one sitting. Take that information however it resonates. My phone cuts off on me randomly, so I have to end the video here and then bring you the rest later on. Shalom, shalom, shalom. You're all going to come to the same answers. It's the non-physical damages and the physical damages. The non-physical damages and the physical damages. The physical damages hit our minds, and the non-physical damages attack our minds, and the physical damages attack our physical reality. We have to fix one of those two first. The non-physical damages. I made this military to help force fix the non-physical damages, and then soon as within, so throughout. Especially when you realize the spirit is already healed and fixed. The spirit is just love energy. The soul is peace, respect, balance, and progression. And through the spirit, it manifests peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my family.